Welcome. Well, you're at home with Jim and Joy, and you are an important part of our EWTN family. And we're so delighted that you've welcomed us into your home. Now, we would like for you to send us an email with a question or a comment to jimandjoy@ewtn.com. We certainly would love to hear from you. Now, today we have our dearly beloved friend, Dr. Alveda King, who is the Director of the Civil Rights for the Unborn. She is a pastoral associate with Priests for Life. You could go to her website, prolifecentral.com, and civilrightsfortheunborn.com. And we're delighted and excited to have Alveda with us
on
today.
Martin Luther King Day, to have Alveda King with us, and she is a dear friend. What a great celebration this is today. And we always need to keep in focus that Dr. King was a minister of the gospel of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yes.
A great civil rights leader, everything else that he was, but he was a minister. And he understood the sanctity and the dignity of every human being. And we really, like so many, got caught up in his vision, which is Christ's vision, that he wanted to build a beloved community. He wanted to build what he called a beloved community. We bought into that big time, and we moved down to Birmingham, Alabama, some 40 years ago.
In 1980, 40 years ago.
We wanted to be a part of that reconciliation. We wanted to be a part of building a beloved community in a city that was known for its divisiveness and has come so far now. But we were caught up in that vision and in making that dream a reality. And during the course of things, we got to develop a friendship with Dr. Alveda King, who is the niece of Dr. Martin Luther King, daughter of A.D. King, the only brother of Martin Luther King, Jr.
Yes.
And we worked together at Priests for Life, Alveda and I, for some 7 years together, and just some great times there. But A.D. King was a tremendous man of God and preacher of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Where we live in Fairfield, Alveda lived as a young girl with her family and with A.D. King for many years in Ensley, Alabama, the town right over. And their home, because of the stand that A.D. was taking, he was pastor of First Baptist Church in Ensley, their home was bombed. And they placed the bomb, if I remember correctly, she can tell me if I'm not remembering, they placed the bomb out in front door and back door. They didn't know it, but A.D. King had this sense, we need to get out of this house, if I'm remembering the story. And so they left out the back door. The bomb went off at the front door, and the bomb didn't go off in the back.
Yes.
Thank God. And so they escaped with their lives. And so it's a great privilege to have Alveda to celebrate this day, and that was all about the building of a beloved community. And Alveda has continued that. She's a great civil rights icon, great person in the pro-life movement, and she really understands that the pre-born are a part of this civil rights movement as well. That if we're going to really build a beloved community, how do we kill our children? How do we kill the future? And Dr. King was all about the future and about a dream. And so she's about building a holistic, beloved community.
Well, and as ignorant and as young and idealistic as we were, we thought, here we were, these two people from New Jersey coming down to Alabama. Governor Wallace was still the governor in 1980. And we were going to integrate our Episcopal Church, right? Because we believe that all men were created equal and we all should be worshiping together. And we were one of the first integrated churches in Alabama. You at one point were nominated the most outstanding young religious leader because that was one of the things that we were part. We were like, aren't we all equal? Why we hate, we judge, we're prejudiced, we're this because of that, but aren't we supposed to be Christians? Shouldn't God be changing our hearts? And we really believe that. And we thought everybody there wouldn't be any opposition.
Well, Dr. King's message is Jesus Christ's message. It's the only message that's going to bring healing and peace to the United States of America and to this world, that all people are created equal and have the fundamental right to human existence and to life. We'll be right back. Plenty more to come. Dr. Alveda King is coming up in just a few moments. You're not going to want to miss her. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Well, you are at home with Jim and Joy. And today we have a very special guest, Dr. Alveda King. She is the Director of the Civil Rights for the Unborn. She's the Pastoral Associate with Priests for Life. You could go to her website, prolifecentral.com. That sounds so powerful. And civilrightsfortheunborn.com.
Alveda, it's absolutely wonderful to be with you face to face. You're no stranger to EWTN. You're really a part of the family here. And here we are on Martin Luther King Day celebration, a holiday here in the United States of America. And his name is so renowned through all the world, you know. And just it's interesting your own reflections on this day and Martin Luther King Day. And I had the privilege of being with you in Atlanta and taking just us two on a tour of the King home. So I guess that was Daddy King's house and the three siblings, three children there. And we went room by room, and you were reflecting. It was so neat because you were saying, I remember that room, and I was in there, and I lived here for a time, and oh, you know, this is what happened here. So Dr. King is your uncle. You know, I mean, your family, he's family, and he's so huge, he's almost unreal. But just wondering about your thoughts and reflections on a day like this.
Well, what's so amazing about that, even as I'm here with you, Jim and Joy, and the first thing we did, we caught up with family. How many grandchildren do you have now? What do you do? Your children. You remember you met our little granddaughter. So it takes us right back into the middle of family. And that's what the King legacy is about. It's honestly about family, even before the world. Now, Martin Luther King was known very much to the world, and the world still remembers today. But you had Daddy King and Mama King. That was Mama King's parents' home. And they lived in that birth home when their children were born. And then Daddy King, I'm a man, I want my own house. He, of course, got another family home, and that home became a rental property for a while. My mom and daddy, A.D. and Naomi, got married. Then they moved in and started their family. So today it's remembered as the King family home. Yes. And so that's what's important about legacies, family. I remember on that tour with you, or maybe at another time, because we worked together for 7 years or so. But you were talking about one time, you were just talking about Dr. King, and that he was on the floor, and you were a little younger child, and he was kind of tossing you up in the air or something. Take all the children, throw them up in there and catch them.
But he was saying you were beautiful. He was saying nice things to you. How many years did you have with him before his assassination?
Well, interestingly enough, when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, I was 17 years old. Next year, my daddy, his brother, walks me down the aisle, and then a week later, Daddy was killed and thrown in a swimming pool. But I was a young lady, and when a year after Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, I was a married young lady. So I actually knew him, Birmingham, and we're in Alabama here when we're with you, the two of you. And just knowing that there were people like Martin Luther King Jr., Ralph David Abernathy, my dad, A.D. King, Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth, and we can go on and on. But these were men in that day and women, Joy, and it was very important. So just because the women, when we were little girls, Joy, but women, our mothers and grandmothers, supported their husbands. And you do that with Jim, the two of you. You consider yourselves equal, but you know your own roles. And that's what was very important. I learned that in the family legacy. The pain, the deaths, the killings, I was taught to love and to forgive. Now that's a hard lesson.
That's a hard one.
When you have an uncle who was shot, a daddy who was choked and thrown in a swimming pool, a grandmother in 1974, playing the Lord's Prayer on the organ in church. So how can you love? How can you forgive? And I even look at, you know, our coffee cup today with Mother Angelica and all of those kinds of things, her understanding the importance of legacy, of having something. Centuries later, maybe a long time from now, when they'll know there was a Jim and a Joy who regarded family. There was an Alveda King who understood a King family legacy. These are important things.
Well, one of the beautiful things that you bring to the King family legacy is, and in front and center in this day and age, in this culture of death, you bring the dignity and value and worth of the unborn, saying that this is the civil rights issue of our day.
Absolutely.
So tell our family at home about how God is using you now.
And everything that I do creatively, my books, my music. I have a new book, The Spirit of a Dream, and I write about the dream of Martin Luther King Sr., Daddy King, who dreamed about me 3 years before I was born, and my mother wanted an abortion in 1950. It would not have been called abortion then, it would have been called a DNC, an exploratory procedure to see what's going on with you, because abortion was illegal. But Daddy King had a prophetic ultrasound, Joy. He saw me in a dream 3 years before I was born and described exactly how I would look. And my mother agreed with him, and I was born. Wow. And so I didn't even know. And so when I met Jim over at Priests for Life and worked with you all for that time, I had no idea that this little girl who was rescued from abortion would one day in the 21st century be a voice for life.
Amen.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
The difference a life makes and how many people we're missing who would have touched other people. Somehow God will make all things beautiful in its time. You're being so strong in the pro-life movement, which really spans every stage and phase of life, but in particular we're speaking about the voiceless and the helpless little ones. How has this been received for you? I mean, again, because some people separate the civil rights movement from the pro-life movement. They don't get the connection with it. Maybe they do when they're not on camera, because I speak to a lot of people off camera, they kind of get it. But what has it been like for you to say, we need to be more holistic in this?
You know, in 2019, when you had two governors in 2 different states say, okay, we're not going to just say that a woman has a right to choose when you can't see the baby with the natural eye. We're going to ignore ultrasounds and technology. But when that baby is born, and sometimes they actually were calling it a baby, but when the baby's born and the mother still didn't want the baby, keep the baby comfortable and you decide. So America, didn't that happen with you all too? Everybody went, what? Yeah. They're saying that when you can hold a baby, it's okay to let the baby die and not help it live.
And the operative word there was being wanted.
That's it.
If the baby was wanted.
If she didn't want it, or if this or if that. And so America woke up in 2019. And we have been marching, crying, praying, legislating, doing everything we could with Roe v. Wade. And I am an executive producer, by the way, of the movie Roe v. Wade. So we were doing everything that we could. But America woke up in 2019.
Do you see more and more people of color getting involved in this movement, really? Because, you know, it's really interesting. Years back, I remember, you know, Jesse Jackson, like, totally pro-life, made the connection with the African-American community being disproportionately targeted. And the leaders at that time, I mean, there was no kind of separation with the civil rights movement. And then all of a sudden, it kind of changed. I think there's more and more people coming in. How are you assessing that? What do you see? What is that all about?
In the African-American community and the Latino and Hispanic community, those 2 communities are considered in America minority communities. But, you know, I don't even go with the separate races. I say we're one race, Acts 17:26, one blood. So it doesn't matter what color our skin color is. However, we are awakening in each and every community. And we're beginning to know. And it's the young people that get the message better than the older people. Because you go to the March for Life and you know, we are always amazed how many young people are out there marching. So we keep the message, we teach it, and we do what we do. But these young people are saying, wait a minute, I don't know about that. They're waking up.
Right. And the one message that we need to pass on is that, hey, this isn't a sprint, this is a marathon.
It is.
And we've run a marathon of our lives, but we're not getting any younger.
Yeah.
And you need to take this torch and you need to carry it. So, and it might mean the marathon of your life. I pray and hope that it isn't so.
Well, you know, they have a mantra now. They said, we are the generation that's going to see the end.
Right.
And they mean it. They're serious. We meant that too. But I think with us, it was like, no matter how long it takes, we're going to do it. But they're like, no, it's going to happen, you see.
Yes.
So but that's the beautiful thing about it. We're still running, and they run alongside us. But that doesn't mean we go sit down and stop.
Right.
We're just running there for a while, and then they'll go out, you see. And that's what's happening.
Got it, yeah.
Well, the beautiful thing about the whole thing in 2019, when those governors made those awful statements and it was out there on the media, people were going,
People were like, what?
what, is that really happening? Well, it is really happening. Now it's just the hidden things are being made known, the secret things are being revealed. But as we're in 2020, in this beautiful year, that we all would have perfect vision,
Yeah.
that we would see.
January
right?
20th, 20. We can see it.
Right.
Now, you know my story too. You know, I actually had 2 abortions and a miscarriage. The Lord forgave me. That's the other side of that, that forgiving if your dad is killed, your uncle's killed, your grandmother's killed. Forgiving yourself for not really understanding what you were doing. I believe Jesus' prayer, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I believe he was praying for me too. Forgive Alveda, she didn't know. So we've got to have the forgiveness, we've got to have the healing, we've got to speak out, we've got to have the courage to talk about this on a family show. We have to do this.
Right.
So it has to be passed on through the generations. And like you said, it's about family. Before we go to a break, just real quick, how important is it for people to be registered to vote, and to vote what kind of principles? I'm not talking about endorsing a particular candidate,
Not the people, the principles. You don't have to like the person that you vote for, but you have to understand who is going to pray, who's going to work for America, who's going to give us continued religious freedom. And that doesn't only mean Catholic or Protestant or Jew. Religious freedom to express our faith. The freedom for the baby in the womb to be born. The old person, nobody wants to be bothered, so give them more morphine. Bye. No. The poor, the widows, we forget about that. That's what pro-life means, womb to the tomb.
Right.
And if we don't do it, how will they know?
Right.
Wow.
How will the dream survive?
Yeah.
Beautiful. We're going to take a break at this time, and we're going to come back and speak a little bit more together. It's a great privilege to have you on with us today on At Home with Jim and Joy.
Wow.
What an incredible day, Martin Luther King Day, the niece of Dr. Martin Luther King, the daughter of A.D. King, another great minister of the gospel. We'll be right back. Plenty more to come. Please don't go away.
Wow.
Welcome back. Well, we're visiting today with Dr. Alveda King, and before we continue our discussion, we're going to go straight to Rome to hear from Joan Lewis. Now, Joan, you are well acquainted with our guest today, aren't you?
Well, hi, Jim, and hi, Joy, and hi, Alveda. Alveda, a friend, of course, of mine, and I wish I could have been with you in studio, but you know, Alveda and I have shared some very nice moments in Rome. She had breakfast at my house one day, and after that, she did a Facebook Live from the hot seat being my office chair. She loved that. And then after that, we did a radio interview for Vatican Insider, and the focus pretty much of that talk was protecting human life. And that also was pretty much a focus of the life of Dr. Martin Luther King, her very famous uncle, as we celebrate his day today. But you know what I want to do for a minute really is talk about how popes saw what they said of Martin Luther King. Now, in April of 2018, a Vatican news show relived the day 50 years earlier when Martin Luther King was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee, on the balcony of his hotel as he was fighting poverty and racism. And Pope Paul VI, the Pope at the time, said at an Angelus afterwards that he expressed his sorrow for the killing of a Christian prophet for racial integration. Now, fast forward a bit, we have September of 1987. We are in the Louisiana Superdome Stadium where Pope John Paul is meeting with the black community of New Orleans. And here's what he said. He said, "Today, as we recall those who with Christian vision opted for nonviolence as the only true approach for ensuring and safeguarding human dignity, we cannot help but think of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and of the providential role he played in contributing to the rightful human betterment of black Americans and therefore to the improvement of America itself." Now fast forward again to another September 2015, Pope Francis, on his visit to the U.S., spoke to the U.S. Congress, and he noted that Martin Luther King's dreams seem to still inspire Christians. He said, "I think of the march from Selma to Montgomery 50 years ago as part of the campaign to fill his, King's, dream of full civil and political rights for African Americans. That dream continues to inspire us all," said Francis. "I'm happy that America continues to be, for many, a land of dreams. Dreams that lead to action, to participation, to commitment. Dreams that awaken what is deepest and truest in a people." So, beautiful words, and I'll close with those on this day that we dedicate to Dr. Martin Luther King.
Joan, thanks so much for those wonderful reflections. Alveda, you know, the words that keep coming to me in relationship to Dr. King, your father, you yourself, is where Jesus says, "Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, soul, mind, and strength, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these commandments hang all the law and the prophets." And so I want you to reflect on that. That seems to me to be his message to us, your message. What does that mean for our country and for the world today?
Even as I listened to Joan's words, and I was transported back to Rome for a minute, and we put her in our Christmas album in 2019. We did one, and she's such a wonderful hostess. But those words that she shared, everything that you've said today, is so important here when we remember Martin Luther King Jr. He was a prophet. He was a man of God. He loved the Lord. Jim, we talked about this a lot, and we reflected on his joy. Was he perfect? Absolutely not. No human is. But he had a perfect love for God. And so when we love God, and he said, when you value the human personality, you won't kill anybody. That was so clear and so telling from the prophet Martin Luther King Jr. He perhaps even might have had a little inkling of what might come ahead. And when he was talking about he'd been to the mountaintop, but he'd seen the promised land, I honestly believe if he were here today, he would say, don't be overcome by all the evil. Continue to do good. Continue to pray. Jim and Joy, continue to fight for those babies. Alveda, continue to march for the babies and for the old and the sick and the elderly, the widows, the voiceless. And that way we always have hope. We don't give up.
Well, it's the only way to survive and to thrive. And you're saying that you felt like that vision would have continued on to include the preborn children.
The babies in the womb.
So it's treated so unjustly.
Yes.
That it is the sacredness and the dignity of the human person that is the foundation for everything else that happens in a society, and the love for God, the love for neighbor.
Amen. I believe that.
Good. Alveda, thank you so much for this time. It's a great privilege to have you with us, and we're just so grateful for all that you and your family has sacrificed, and that in you and in the sharing today, the dream does indeed live on.
Amen. God
Amen.
bless both of you. Oh, wow.
So don't forget, EWTN's March for Life coverage with Catherine Hadro and Father Patrick begins on Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Walk for Life West Coast will be on Saturday beginning at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Isn't it good to be a Christian? Isn't it grand to be a Catholic? Isn't it wonderful to serve one who was an embryo and who was a fetus, and who now reigns as the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, who is coming again to be the judge of the living and of the dead? Let's all together recommit ourselves to building a new culture of life. Life, marriage, and the family will prevail. Don't be afraid. Keep it on EWTN. You're never alone. You're always at home with Jim and with Joy. Bye now.